Okay, greetings everyone. I'm Ms. Geetanjali and I'm from Bangalore from MSRIT. I'm doing my MCA. And along with me is Dr. S. Jagannath, who's also part of the listener group. He's an associate professor and who's guiding me in my project. So we came up with this fake transaction detection in credit card using machine learning. So this is our concept that I have taken for my project. And in this, just a gist of it is how we are going to detect real-time transactions. So we are not using any dummy data. We are using a real-time data. Uh, we have only masked the personal details like the name and the phone number, address. Only these personal details are masked for security reasons. Otherwise, the transaction timings, we have taken it in real. So in this presentation, I would run you through. I think Mr. Rashid, you are asking me to give you the control of the screen, which I'm unable to give. I have to decline this, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I want to view your presentation.
You want to?
I want to view your presentation. Am I online with you?
You want? Mustaq sir?
Okay, continue with your presentation. Don't worry.
Yeah, because I'm getting the pop-up, I have to decline it, yeah. So in this presentation, I'll just take you through the abstract of what we have done in the project, the introduction and binary classification, what are going to be the classifiers that we have used, the problem statement, the hypothesis that we arrived to, what were the results and the evaluation of the actual time, and what future scope can be given. So when I'm going through binary classification, I'll also I'll give you a brief introduction and or a detailed introduction if time permits about how was the fast tree algorithm implemented in our project. So with the abstract, what happens, we see there are transactions that happens over credit card, but there has been a lot of fraudulent cases where time and amount has just elapsed in seconds or in just. So how these fake transactions can be learned and detected, even though it is just microseconds that the transaction has happened, that we are going to do using certain machine learning algorithm. So we have proposed a general methodology where we will be able to identify which is going to be a fake transaction and which is going to be a neat transaction. So we have implemented using the C# and we have imbibed it with ML.NET, and my entire project I've used Visual Studio as the frame. And in our project, we have about 2,84,807 transactions that have taken place, where we were able to detect 492 cases which as fraud. And our accuracy stands at 99.90. I will also let you know at the later part of the later part of the presentation, why this stands at 99.90 and not 100% too. So with the introduction in 2019, when we saw the payment, the payment report for the credit cards, it says that there were a lot of e-wallet or bank transfer that happens. Now with Paytm, with Google, there are even more fraudulent cases that that's been happening over 2020, because we are all under lockdown and there has been an enormous or substantial amount of increase in fraud. Hard cash is very difficult during this lockdown, and the hackers and the misusers of the transaction, they are trying to make good money out of it. So this machine learning classification, this is basically, we are going to have an algorithm where we are going to train the data set in an 80-20 ratio. I will show it, I'll present it in the code as well, that I will take you through in just few minutes. And while we are going to learn the algorithm, or we are going to feed the system with the algorithm, and then after the training has happened, we are going to process the results based on this training. The best part about this is, once if I train the system, I need not retrain the system again. Keeping the training data, I can still go ahead and I can do my prediction. So in this credit card fake detection, we are using the binary classification algorithm. In this binary classification, there are only going to be two things, true or false. That is yes or a no, which is nothing but whether the case is being labeled as a fake or a non-fake transaction. So the problem statement we took was, this is going to be predict if the credit card transactions was fake. For that, we have importantly the PCA, the principal component analysis. So this is going to give us the result of the variables V1 to V28, which I will show, which I will also show you the data set. V1 to V28 are going to be the variables that are going to come in as the data input. And on the transactions that is happening, it is completely a numerical based transaction. I mean, numerical based data set that we have taken in. And we also have two things. One is a feature, which is a time, which is going to be in seconds. And then we have a featured class, which is going to be the response variable. So the prediction variable is going to be from V1 to V28 and the time that has been elapsed. And the response variable for the prediction is going to be the class, which is going to say 1 in case of a fake and 0 in case of a non-fake transaction. So in this, we further went with this and we took a live data set of September 2013 European credit card holders. You might want to ask me why I took 2013 and not the latest, because that was the only data set that was available online for me. If I would have got a 2019 data set also, I can still train my system and I can get the result. But if I get it, might be I can share it sometime if we again meet up in a conference. So as I told you, the transaction we have taken only for 2 days of time. Out of that itself, we got about 284,000 cases we have already got. And in this, we have come to the binary classification. So this binary classification is nothing but we are either going to classify it as 0 or 1 based on the prediction. So now, before even we can go into this, there are few basic terms that we need to understand in binary classification. Something called as a true positive, false positive, true negative, and false negative. So now the true positive is going to be the model is going to predict it as a fraud case or a fake case. When it is a true positive, the non-fraud cases that the model is going to be predict, it will be as a fraud. If it is a true negative, then the non-fraud cases that the model will be predicting, it is going to be a non-fraud case. Then we have the false negative, where the fraud cases or the fraudulent cases is getting predicted as a non-fraud case. So we have these 4 combinations that we are going to take. And based on this, we are going to take the accuracy, the precision, the sensitivity, and we are going to take the specificity of the cases. So this is the matrix that I was talking about: true positive and true negative. So we have got this matrix. Are you all able to see this? Just a yes will be fine.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So then we have taken the column ratios, where we have taken the sensitivity or the recall, and that is matched against the counterpart of a false negative rate. Then we have taken a true negative rate with a counterpart being as a false positive rate. Then in the row ratio, it has been precision against a false discovery rate and a negative predictive value against a false omission rate. So these are the 2 ratios that internally classifies whether something was a fraudulent or not. Then coming to FastTree. So FastTree is one of the major algorithm that we have taken to get the prediction done. When I just run you through the code quickly for a minute or 2, I can just immediately tell you. So now the input value, that is after the binary classification is done, and we are getting the last column, which is nothing but the class. This class has to be only an input value. It can either be a Boolean 0 or 1 or a true or false. Okay, and the features, they must be a single sized, it's a sized vector or single. We can call it a sized vector or signal. In this, we have taken the prediction label, which is a Boolean. So this is basically a sign of score. And the negative will map to the positive, and that is a false, a negative score, which is a false, is going to map to a positive score, which is true. And when we are going to train this characters in machine learning, the learning task, we are going to use it as a binary classifier. We don't require any normalization. Usually in when we are taking big data, when we are taking data mining, we might need a binary clubbing, we might need a normalization. But in this, we didn't have any normalization. We don't have to cache anything such that based on the cache, the training can happen. No, once you're trained, done and dusted in the system. Then we don't need any NuGet. I mean, the NuGet we have used over here will be Microsoft ML.FastTree. I'll just show you that also in the code. Then when we are going to train the data set, we are using the MART gradient. So this is the boosting algorithm that we have used here. And it is going to build each regression tree in a stepwise fashion. And we are having a predefined loss function that is going to measure the error if for each and every step, and if there is a correction that is required, it still does this correction. So in the regression problem, what happens is that you're going to boost the building, which will seem like, trees, which is also a stepwise function. And we are going to select the optimal tree, which is going to be suitable for us to present this. And we will also be able to differentiate between the loss function and the arbitrary. So now when we are coming to MART, this is going to assemble the regression trees, while the decision tree is going to be a scalar value which is going to be left on the leaves. So when we are coming to a decision, we are going to use the flowchart, which is an interior node. And this node only will be basically deciding whether it is going to have 2 child nodes or how it is going to go forward. So I think with this, I can just, just stop here for the algorithm explanation. I mean, I can still guide you through when I'm going through the code part. So when we have come here, as I said, we have a feature column, right? So the feature column over here is coming from the trainer estimator base. And this is the model that is getting into the algorithm model that is getting trained over here. So the research hypothesis, as I told you, we have V1 to V28. There are the principal components, and we are having time and an amount which cannot be converted. So the time is going to be the seconds elapsed. The class is going to be the response variable. So the hypothesis that we came up to is the data set that was used on suspicious behavior is being used for classification in machine learning. And for this, we came up with the binary classification. The ML task, machine learning task we used for was binary classification or the binomial classification. So it is going to get into two groups of predicting which group belongs to what classifier rule it is coming up with. So what we came up with the solution is we are going to build, train, evaluate, and consume the model. So for building the model, we have prepared the data, and we have split this particular input data on an 80-20 rule for training and for testing. So we are using the text loader, which is going to load the input data. So basically it unzips the data, and this is going to load the data based on the schema, and it is going to map the data set. Then with the estimator variable, then we are going to create an estimator using the feature column. And then we are going to transfer this data into the normalized by using the mean variance. Then we are going to train or learn this algorithm using the FastTree. Then we are going to, and once we have trained the model, we will just immediately get to know which algorithm has been chosen. And we will parameterize it using the model. We are implementing the fit method from the estimator object. So this fit method, this is getting passed using the training. Then finally, we will be evaluating the model. We are using the test view data, and we are using the evaluate, which is going to compare the predicted variables. And finally, we are going to consume.
Dr.
So I guess,
Doctor, you have 2 minutes.
So just can you give me another 2 minutes, please?
Yeah, please.
I'll just finish it quickly. I'll just show the code and I'll finish it. I won't take beyond that.
Yeah, okay. You
so
have
this is the result that we got, and this is the result that we have got. So the accuracy stands at 99.90. People might ask why the accuracy rate is, why it can't be 100%, because it is time that is elapsed in seconds. So we cannot, there are certain transactions that can happen in nanoseconds, right? Those cannot be called in for here. The previous ones that were used with data mining, they have come up with, using Naive-Bayesian's theorem, they have come up with 94% accuracy only. But when we are loading it in machine learning through ML.NET, we are getting an accuracy rate of 99.90. So if you just quickly, just give me a minute, let me see if I can just present you this very quickly. I'll just show you the code as well. Just give me a minute, please. Can you see the code? Are you all able to see my screen?
Oh, please share the screen.
Share agilba?
No,
Not
we are
yet.
not able to see.
Not able to see.
Okay. Let me share
Please
it
share
now.
the screen.
Can you please see the screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's visible.
So this is so as I told you, so we have taken the original data set, we have unzipped it, then we are using the ML.NET procedures to get the data. So with the help of ML.NET context, we are trying to set the seed. That is basically we are going to see which is the environment that could be suitable for this. We have prepared the data set for it, and then finally we are loading it and we are training the model. So here we will be training the model. Using the I transformer, we'll be training the model and we are evaluating the model and finally saving it. So if I can quickly come down, this is the part where we are training the algorithm. So can you all see this part? So basically we are using the fast tree, using the trainers. So it is a fast tree method which is there in the trainers, which comes under binary classification. So we are using the ML context to basically run this. So let me try to just run this without debugging. Let's see if I can just show you the prediction. Just give it a second because yeah. So this is the predictions from the model. So the positive ones and the fraudulent cases, I've just taken samples of 5. Otherwise, it's going to be a tedious task. So this is the transformation. This is the result that we are getting.
Please share that screen, result screen.
Oh, it's not sharing. So 1 second,
Yeah.
sir. Oh, I have to reshare it. Can you all see the screen now, please?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the result screen. So I have given just 5 transactions with the probability of 0.98. So which is nothing but the probability rate of one of the transaction. So just the 5 that is being predicted, yes, it is a fraud. And these 5, the remaining 5 I've just shown, which is not a fraud or the false transactions. So this is the result screen, and this is the final result that we are getting. So in conclusion,
Share the PPT screen.
yes, sir. So this is the result, and then we have seen the conclusion is that, are you all able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, we didn't have to do much. We didn't have to normalize, or we didn't have to do any much detailed coding or something. ML.NET has come up with a very nice way and an effective way. Totally for 2,84,807 records, we have just put in about 1,600 lines of code. But then if it was, if without ML.NET, if we had to do it through another way, might be it would have taken a really long time. We took about just about 20 days for us to complete this. So this assessment, whatever we have done using the real data set, using the PCA techniques has been really fruitful to us. So these are the references that we have followed to draft this paper. And we have taken about 11 references until now. So if there's any questions you would want to ask me, kindly ask me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Geeta. I would like to leave it on the audience. If there is any question, please go ahead. Is there any question for Dr. Geeta?